What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me once again for Tell It How It Is, No Filter. I want to get to the point where I could just go in. Y'all know what it is already, right? Y'all know who it is. Why do I not like introductions? I want to just get to it. But it's professional, right? Or you'll take me serious. I know you see this thing on my head. Just wash my hair, my waves and all that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the wave god, but at least it matches. But so I gotta wear this. I don't gotta explain myself to y'all. Just fucking what you see is what you get, right? Starting off a little ignorant. How y'all feeling though? How's everything out there? How's everything going? Holiday time, right? Holiday time. Fourth quarter. What are we most focused on once we get to this time of year? Is it really caught up in the holidays? Is it really just getting your shit together in general? Are we doing the cleanup before the new year? What's on your mind this time of year? You could DM or comment for that. So let me go right in, right? The later in life you get your shit together, the less time you have to play around. We get a pass because in our 20s and 30s, for some of us, we still figuring shit out. If we're lucky, you have the selected few that kind of get on track immediately. That's what we want though, with the society and economy and all of that. If all this access to YouTube videos and whatsoever that could kind of like school a younger generation early on, so they don't have to go through the shit that a lot of us had to go through. So we would love to see you get it right away. 20s. If you could catch on and build your wealth and be straight from jump, dope. But that's not the case here. So when you do finally figure things out, or when you at least figure out what you've been doing wrong, how you've been moving, you gotta go, all right, you know how much time you spent focusing, you know how much time you spent procrastinating, you know how much time you spent chasing certain pleasures. Where did it get you? Are you happy where you at right now, currently? If you're not, those three things were divided in the wrong way. Now you gotta live. You can't take that away from you. So the seriousness and the grind, you do have to mix some pleasure in there. I wouldn't say the word pleasure. You would have to do something that you enjoy at some point, right? But it is true. The more time you wasted, the less time you have for that. So I'm gonna give advice and say that you can still have a little hangout here and there. So I heard from other influences, and that's a word we need to pay attention to for this pod. But that even like no matter how in the hole you are, I would say you could you could go do leisure every other weekend. Every other weekend, twice a month. Treat it like if you get paid bi-weekly, twice a month, you could go out and have a good time. I know some gonna stretch it to every weekend, at least one day. So Friday or Saturday, you pick one, you go hang out for a little bit, get your mind right, clear, and then back to the grind, right? But if you're really dedicated, and if you really wasted a lot of time, I would say every other week, all right? But you should take this comment seriously. Yes, the later in life you get your shit together, the less time you have to play around. So now all your brain need to be an overload now, jotting down everything, budgeting everything, getting all your ducks in a row so you could stop and you could turn things around immediately, almost immediately, the more dedicated you are. All right? Cool. Influences, are they more bad than good? Mental. The sad thing is, even good or bad situations influences can still affect it in the wrong direction. So let's say you got something good going on. You know how they say you don't count the blessings? You know, if you got plans, or your brain is like trying to come up with this, you know, escape route to financial freedom, to success. You don't want to really talk on it yet, right? We don't speak things. You speak things into existence, but you don't really bring it to everybody, if anybody. So let's go with the good. So you got something brewing. You could talk about it. Be real selective on who you talk about it to, and the influence can still be bad. You know what I mean? Like, will I charge it to them being haters and don't want you to win? I don't know. That's always gonna be in the back of the brain. But it could just be some journeys, some trips are meant to be just made alone with no influence. That's why I'm trying to be legit here with you, like good or bad. So I gave you the good first. And there's way more things we can point out and do to show why. Like I said, is it a hater? Is it somebody who's just always negative? Is it somebody who's just like, I don't know. You could get good advice from it though. Like, they could be a good influence, but I'm sorry to report that I feel like there's more bad than good in that. Depending on who you select. I think if you pick a financial advisor, somebody professional, then that's good. But sorry to say, your friends and family, even if it's not intentional, I don't see them really, you know what I mean? You could prove me wrong. Listen, that's not the majority if you're able to say you've seen it. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen more than not. So that's it for the good. Do I have to go down the bad lane? If the good is questionable, of course when you're going through something bad, I know they say misery loves company, but that shit ain't gonna make shit positive. There's gonna be 2 or 3 sulking motherfuckers. Just that shit is toxic. Like, you just already feel bad, and there's more bad into it. You think you're getting a temporary fix that, you know, they could relate, and in that moment you might feel good that someone understands, but it's not good. It's not good at all. You know what I mean? So both good and bad, try to keep to yourself. Or professional influences. Financial, business, whatever. Get you a financial coach. Spend the bread. If you must speak it, spend the bread. If it's bad shit you're going through, spend the bread. Or if you got coverage and you could get, you know, could finagle without spending no bread really. Professional help. Stop. I said this already. Take the ego and pride out. I feel like that's the most biased influence. Non-biased or biased? I'm fucking up my own words. That's the best way to get a legit answer, a legit influence on that. You know, and even that don't gotta be the right way either. But if you must chat about it, some people just can't keep shit to themselves. And I'm not judging. There's some heavy shit people walking around carrying. And you know, when you see or hear that somebody wilded out and they want to always question mental health because motherfuckers couldn't get shit off their chest. You know what I mean? So, you know, when we get that desperate with it, when it's somebody who really needs mental help, I would tell that person, yeah, find the closest person you think you can trust if you can't get to professional help. But if you can hold it down, get the professional help. I'm off that. Let's go back. Let's stay with mental. How much control does your mind have over you? Emotions as well. And can you stop it once it's in overload? Wow. You know, it's one direct line to why this is even a question, right? Because if you got normal shit going on, regular shit, you know that life can change like that, right? So work-wise or whatever, I'm not going to break down everything. But the thing is, these are things you should adapt to and know that life could throw you a curveball. Here's where we can really exercise this question and stretch it out a little. When you're over passionate. when you want, when you want something so bad. Over passionate is the word. Super passionate, very passionate. You just want it. So when it's not going good, yeah, your emotions and your mind is going to fuck you up. There's no way to water it down. It's going to fuck you up. It's very dangerous being super passionate, overly passionate, passionate at all. That's very dangerous with your wants, your needs, and your vision. This is a very dangerous thing. So I feel you should have control if you are not a passionate person. No one's perfect. Things can get the best of you. It will. Try to nip it in the butt. You kind of let it rock in the moment, maybe a day or so, and try to shake that shit off. I know that shit is easier said than done, but shake that shit off. Being passionate, I'm going to give you the positive of that. If you still got discipline and you can still be strong to shake this shit off, hold that passion for the next thing, the next opportunity, the next situation, and just resurface that. And just tell yourself, everything in life is a risk. Everything is a challenge. Nothing is guaranteed. If you school yourself prior to, it'll help. I'm telling you, I know it's people come on these social medias and all of that, and they talk to you like shit is just easy. It's not. Some are humble and tell you that it's not, and they had to learn it, and it took a while, and it's not overnight. Listen, everybody got their limit, what they can handle. I'm not here judging that, because boy, you could think you the toughest, like Plymouth Rock, and some shit that make you feel like you a jelly bean. You know what I'm saying? So hold that down. Just understand the risk of being passionate. You're going to have to eat that sometimes. All right, cool. We cruising. Pay attention to triggers. Now, this is too broad. Is the triggers on you? Triggers on someone you with? Around? You see? So I'm going to go with yourself first. So the things that trigger you, and everyone has it. If you want to be delusional, naive, don't address it. You got to face yourself and address yourself. So you can live your life, you could be around whoever, and it appears you got shit in control. It appears like you know, you solid, right? But you got to face yourself. So now, by paying attention to triggers, you're supposed to use that to your advantage to try to avoid things that trigger you. Sorry that life is not drawn up where you're just going to get this and nothing is never going to trigger you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, again, going back to the last point, you don't let it overtake for too long. You can be triggered in the moment. I really want you to have breathing exercises, meditate, all that. I want proactive, not reactive. So just sitting here, being able to discuss these things should shape you. You might have already went through something where it's like, hush, you should have told me that weeks ago, voice of reason. You should have told me this. I'm already going through it. So you let that be the last one. All right, everybody get a do-over. If you're already currently going through something, or you went through something prior to this conversation here, all right, say that's the last one that's going to get me. That's the last one for a time. Meaning, things are still going to get you. But how long you let it get you, you control that, though. No judgment here. You may need a minute. You may need a minute. But I'm telling you, if you already went through something, then everybody should have a story. The next time, even if it's not the same thing, you would want to bounce back sooner. You want to bounce back sooner. Things bite. But you got to show growth. That you like, all right, I understand life. I understand that shit happens. Yes, this hurt. This stung. This is still stinging. But I gotta focus. I gotta focus and get my mind right and get back in the game. Because the game ain't over. Game ain't over till that whistle blow. You know what I mean? So take that, hold that, really marinate and understand what I'm trying to say to you. You know what I mean? So I see you back in a minute. I see y'all next week. I'll be calling it a minute. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in for part 1.